Would you like to be able to take your footage from looking like this to looking like that? Or from looking like this to looking like that? Well, today I'm introducing a new tool that I created from scratch specifically for sports videographers. The Ultimate Sports LUT Pack includes 12 different LUTs that I made for 12 very common sports videography scenarios. So in this video, I'm going to explain the purpose of each of those LUTs, show you how they can easily and massively improve the finished look of your videos, no matter what camera you're shooting with, and I'm even going to give you one of the 12 LUTs for free.
Click, 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 swish. I'm a videographer and I'm on the verse, so when I shoot my shot, I don't miss. I'm gonna take the shot, take the shot, take the shot.
Hey guys, my name is E. I'm a professional sports videographer, and today I'm extremely proud to introduce my brand new Creative LUT Pack. And straight off the bat, I want to mention that the word creative is super important, because a creative LUT, by definition, is aimed at providing one or more aesthetic adjustments to your footage without particular concern for technical accuracy. Which means that applying one of these LUTs won't automatically fix any exposure or white balance issues. The sole purpose of any creative LUT is to give a particular style or look to your video. In other words, these are not utility LUTs that you apply on your log footage to bring back contrast and saturation in your image. Creative LUTs are typically used at the end of the editing process to give your entire video or a portion of your video a specific look. And the best thing about creative LUTs is that they can be used with any camera footage. You don't need to shoot in RAW or log to get great results. Obviously, the same LUT will have a slightly different result with different camera brands or models or even picture profiles. But don't worry, I'll explain later on in this video exactly how to manage all this and make sure you get the best results for your camera footage out of these LUTs. I'll even include a quick tutorial showing you how to apply a creative LUT from start to finish. So let's get into it. As you can see, I gave each LUT a sports name that relates specifically to what the LUT does. So that way it's easier to guess which one will be the best for what situation, but ultimately you can use any of them in any scenario. It's totally up to you. So my first LUT is called 30 for 30. It gives your footage a cinematic look that's perfect for sports documentaries. Hence the name 30 for 30. The second one is probably my best one if I'm honest. It's definitely my favorite, which is why I called it MVP. It's slick, it's clean, slightly cinematic too, and it works in any context. The next LUT is called Team Pride because it is specifically designed to make team uniforms pop on screen. Obviously, if the team uniforms are predominantly white or black, it's not gonna make much of a difference, but the idea of this LUT is to really bring out the saturation in your colors the right way. The next one is called Role Player because it's not fancy at all, but it's very helpful. It's a simple but effective natural look, not too stylized. After that, we got X Games, which is somewhat of a grunge look that works well with extreme sports and documentaries as well. Next is YMCA, which I think is going to be popular with most high school basketball videographers. It's designed to brighten up footage shot in a poorly lit gym without creating more noise. It's very useful. Then we have a LUT called All Day that is designed for footage shot outdoors on a bright sunny day. So this will be a favorite for football and soccer videographers. Next, we have a LUT called Winter Olympics, which includes a bit of a cool tint for winter sports vibes. And we also have a Summer Olympics LUT with, you guessed it, a warm tint this time that will give your footage a golden hour kind of style. Here we have the Hall of Famer LUT, with a diffused vintage look for historical moments or flashbacks. Then we have Friday Night Lights. This LUT is built specifically to deal with the harsh conditions of a night game under stadium lights. And lastly, we've got MSG, which stands for Madison Square Garden because it is designed for sports filmed in a big indoor arena with tons of lights. Okay, so the way to apply these LUTs or any creative LUTs is very simple. If you're like me in Premiere Pro, all you need to do is apply the Lumetri color effect on a clip or on an adjustment layer. I would recommend using an adjustment layer because that way you can drag it over your entire sequence and every change you make will affect all the visible clips underneath. So once you've applied the effect, just open the Effect Control window, go to the Creative tab, open this drop-down menu, select Browse, find the LUT you're after on your computer, click OK, and now all that's left to do is finding the intensity level that works for your footage. One thing you need to know if you've never used LUTs before is that a 100% intensity is always going to be way too much. If you're shooting RAW or log, you might get away with like a 50 to 70% intensity, but personally, I do shoot in log and I rarely go over 40. I'd say I'm typically in the 30 to 40-ish range. I do prefer a subtle sort of look, but it's a very personal and subjective kind of thing. If you are using footage shot with a standard picture profile, which already has a lot of saturation and contrast straight out of camera, I would even go lower than that with a level of intensity that is somewhere between 12 and 30% max. Or on the other hand, what you could do is go into your camera and customize your picture profile by taking down the saturation, the contrast, and the details to give yourself more room to play with when applying the LUTs. So if you're interested in buying the Ultimate Sports LUT Pack, it is available exclusively on my website beyondthegame.tv, and of course there is a link in the description below. The full price of the pack is $49.99, but I currently have a launch sale going during which you can buy it for only $29.99. The launch sale won't last forever though, so make sure you get onto it real quick. And for those of you wondering, I know that I only showed you how to apply a LUT in Premiere because that's what I use, but when you buy the pack, there are instructions included that show you step by step how to apply a LUT in Premiere, but also in Final Cut Pro, in DaVinci Resolve, and in Filmora. Not only that, but my next video on this channel will be featuring Anthony Gallo from Gallo Photography on Instagram. He's a very talented videographer based in California that has been playing around with my LUT pack for a little while now in Final Cut Pro. And he's going to explain how he uses my LUTs in his videos and of course, show you the results. And lastly, I did promise you a free LUT at the start, so here it is. Because you guys have given me so much through the years in feedback, encouragement, support, many of you have been super active in our Facebook group, so for all these reasons, I'm giving you my best LUT for free. I'm giving you the MVP LUT. So again, there is a link in the description that you can use to download the free LUT. Otherwise, thank you for watching, thank you for supporting me all this time, and stay tuned for my next video if you want to revisit this LUT pack from a Final Cut perspective.